Alright, so people, a few days ago, I say a few days ago, I'm recording on the day of which it was announced, but these videos kind of get put out sporadically at times. We had Tszyu versus Errol Spence announced. I think it's actually Errol Spence versus Tszyu. I think Errol Spence is the A side. At a catch weight, I believe, of something. I don't quite. I think it's 155, something like that. The catch weight's 158. I think it's catch weight actually. Errol Spence making his long-awaited return against the former super welterweight champion of the world, Tszyu, one of my favourite fighters in the sport. Errol Spence coming off that 3-year layoff now, which is fucking insane. And is coming off a loss, of course, to the great Terence Bud Crawford, where he got absolutely beat down in that fight. Like I said, hasn't been seen in 3 years in a boxing ring, and at least was rumoured to be fighting Sebastian Fundora in pretty much every month since the Crawford fight. But draws Tszyu instead. What do I think about it? I mean, I'm happy it's not Fundora. I suppose if you're going to put him in there against anyone in the any super welterweight in the world of big name, it'd probably have to be Tszyu. I assume Spence wants a credible win. My mind immediately jumped to Spence versus Keith Thurman, just because it's a fight people have wanted to see for a while. But I think he wants a better win than that, and I think Thurman at this point wouldn't really do much for old Spence. Whereas Tszyu may not be in his absolute prime anymore, but is coming off 2 wins, I believe. He's only lost to Fundora and Murtazaliev. So I guess if you're gonna put him in there against anyone, sure. How does he get on? I'm really not sure. A prime Errol Spence would beat Tszyu, in my opinion. But he's coming off a 3-year layoff. He's coming off a very, very decisive beating. His body has had wear and tear on it for years, that from stuff outside of the boxing ring. You all know about the car crashes. I don't think he ever treated his body like a temple either. I don't think he kept himself in shape outside of camp. So I'd have to favour Tszyu at this point. Spence is only 36, but I think his body's got so much wear and tear on it, man. And if he had a year or 2 break, but kept himself in shape, maybe, because then he could heal up some of the injuries and be like, okay, he's 35, healed up some injuries, but he's never been the type of guy to keep himself in shape. I don't see why he would have. A 3-year break is like borderline retirement. Like, that's, I think him coming back at this stage is questionable, but I won't put a man down for trying. But I'll favour Tszyu. In their primes, I'd favour Errol Spence, but now it's got to be Tszyu. Even though I don't think Tszyu. It's not fun. It's intriguing because Tszyu hasn't looked the best, and Spence has had so long out. But it's not intriguing because it's such a good fight. In their primes, I'd give it to Spence. And right now, I wouldn't be shocked if Spence won, because he was a quality operator in his day. But now, I've got to favour Tszyu. Whether or not he stops him, not entirely sure. I'd probably pick Tszyu by decision, beating a very laboured Errol Spence, but I don't know. I think this is a confusing fight, in all honesty, for Spence specifically, but yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. We'll see what happens. Wish them both all the best, but yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.